Decry as verb. To criticize or denounce publicly and vehemently, to express strong disapproval of or condemn something. Some parents decry the amount of violence in video games. The opposition party was quick to decry the new tax proposal. Many activists decry the use of fossil fuels as a major contributor to climate change. Critics decry the lack of diversity in the entertainment industry. Many people decry the rise of hate speech on social media.
Finagle as verb. To manage or acquire something cleverly or with skill, sometimes implying a sense of craftiness. To obtain or achieve something through devious or dishonest means, often through manipulation or trickery. He managed to finagle his way into getting free tickets to the concert. The negotiator could finagle a deal even in the most challenging situations. The politician was known to finagle votes to secure his position. He always seemed to finagle a last-minute solution to any problem. She attempted to finagle the system to her advantage. Vindicate as verb. To clear someone of blame or suspicion, often by demonstrating their innocence or proving their actions were justified. To defend or uphold someone's position or reputation, often in the face of criticism or opposition. The DNA evidence vindicated the defendant, who had been wrongly accused of the crime. Her hard work and dedication finally vindicated her decision to pursue her dream career. The manager was able to vindicate her decision to hire the new employee when he proved to be a valuable asset to the team. The athlete's impressive performance on the field vindicated his coach's decision to put him in the starting lineup. The investigation was able to vindicate the whistleblower's claims of corruption within the company. Debunk as verb. To discredit or prove wrong the validity of a widely held belief or misconception. To expose the falseness or exaggerated claims of a myth, belief, or idea. The scientist was able to debunk the myth that vaccines cause autism with rigorous research and evidence. The journalist wrote an article to debunk the conspiracy theory circulating on social media. The magician revealed the trick behind the illusion, debunking the notion of supernatural powers. The historian debunked the long-held belief that a particular event never occurred by presenting new archival evidence. The expert debunked the pseudoscientific claims made by the self-proclaimed healer.
Stultify as verb. To cause to lose energy or effectiveness, to impede or hinder progress. The boring lecture stultified the audience. His lack of creativity stultified the project. The strict rules stultified the team's creativity. The teacher's monotone voice stultified the students' interest. The bureaucratic procedures stultified the progress of the project. Cede as verb. Give up control or possession of something, typically as a result of pressure or persuasion. The property was ceded to the government. The protesters ceded the streets to the police. A country may cede land or resources to another country, either voluntarily or as part of a settlement to a dispute or conflict. A parent may cede parental rights to another person, such as in cases of adoption or guardianship. In sports, a team may cede a game or match to their opponents if they are unable to continue playing due to injury or other reasons.
Ascribe as verb. To assign or attribute a particular cause, origin, or responsibility to someone or something. To attribute or credit a particular quality, character, or action to someone or something. The author ascribed the success of her book to the support of her readers and the hard work of her team. The historian ascribed the decline of the Roman Empire to a combination of factors, including economic instability and military overstretch. The artist ascribed her inspiration for the painting to her love of nature and the beauty of the landscape. The scientist ascribed the unexpected results of the experiment to an error in the measurement instruments. The teacher ascribed the student's poor performance to a lack of effort and preparation. Disheartened as verb, feeling discouraged, dejected, or defeated, lacking motivation or enthusiasm. The lack of progress in the negotiations was disheartening to both sides. The constant criticism from her boss disheartened her and made her question her abilities. The failure of the project left everyone feeling disheartened and demotivated. The negative reviews disheartened the author, but they didn't give up on their writing. The team was disheartened by the news of their star player's injury. Stymie as verb, to hinder, block, or thwart the progress or actions of someone or something, often causing a deadlock or obstruction. To prevent or obstruct someone's efforts or plans, leading to a situation where progress becomes difficult or impossible. The lack of funding threatened to stymie the progress of the research. His inability to articulate his ideas seemed to stymie the team's progress. The complex regulations began to stymie the growth of the small business. Efforts to expand were stymied by unexpected bureaucratic hurdles. The change in policies seemed to stymie the development of the project. Expound as verb, to elaborate or discuss something thoroughly. To explain or describe something in detail, often with the intention of making it easier to understand. The professor expounded on the theory of relativity during the lecture. The author expounded on the theme of love in her novel. The speaker expounded on the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. The consultant expounded on the advantages of investing in renewable energy. The coach expounded on the team's strengths and weaknesses.
Taxing as verb, imposing a tax or duty on someone or something, making excessive or unreasonable demands on someone's physical or mental resources. Working two jobs is taxing on one's physical and mental health. The government's new policy is taxing on small businesses and startups. The teacher found it taxing to grade a large number of essays in a short amount of time. His parents' divorce was taxing on the teenager's emotional well-being. Training for a marathon can be taxing on one's endurance and stamina.
Corroborate as verb, to confirm or support with additional evidence or information. To validate or back up with further proof. The eyewitness testimony corroborated the security camera footage, providing strong evidence against the suspect. The scientist's research findings were corroborated by independent studies conducted by other research teams. The witness statement corroborated the victim's account of the events leading up to the accident. The forensic evidence corroborated the prosecutor's theory of how the crime was committed. The internal investigation corroborated the whistleblower's allegations of misconduct within the company.
Browbeat as verb, to intimidate or bully through aggressive or overbearing behavior or language, to persuade or coerce through the use of threats or intimidation. The manager browbeat the employees into working overtime without pay. The bully browbeat his classmates into giving him their lunch money. The coach browbeat the team after their loss, making them feel ashamed and guilty. The prosecutor attempted to browbeat the witness into changing their testimony. The teacher browbeat the students who didn't understand the material, instead of providing additional help. Gerrymander as verb, divide a political area in a biased manner, redraw political boundaries for political advantage. The ruling party gerrymandered the electoral boundaries to ensure they would win the next election. The school district was accused of gerrymandering to keep certain students out of certain schools. The politicians were criticized for gerrymandering the districts in a way that would benefit them and their party. The group of citizens sued the government for gerrymandering the voting districts and infringing on their right to fair representation. The practice of gerrymandering is controversial and has been the subject of much debate and legal action.
Vituperate as verb. To abuse or denounce vehemently. To criticize in a harsh, bitter, or abusive manner. The political candidate was criticized for vituperating their opponent during the campaign. The teacher was reprimanded for vituperating a student in front of the class. The online forum was filled with users who would vituperate anyone who expressed a different opinion. The coach was known to vituperate the players after a bad game. The customer was asked to leave the store after they began to vituperate the salesperson. Exemplify, to illustrate or demonstrate by example. To serve as a clear and typical example of a particular quality or thing. His behavior exemplifies the values of the organization. The way she handled the situation exemplifies good judgment. The success of the project exemplifies teamwork and collaboration. The museum's collection exemplifies the diversity of the region's art. The teacher used a real-life example to exemplify the concept. Elaborate as verb. To add detail or complexity to something. To give more information or explanation about something. The architect is going to elaborate on his design for the new building. The speaker will elaborate on the topic of artificial intelligence in his presentation. The writer is going to elaborate on the main character's backstory in the next chapter. The chef will elaborate on the recipe, explaining how to prepare each ingredient. The teacher encouraged the students to elaborate on their answers during the
Mulct as verb. To extract money or other compensation from someone, especially unjustly. To fine or impose a penalty on someone, typically as a punishment for an offense or violation. The company was mulcted for violating environmental regulations. The store was mulcted for selling expired products. The contractor was mulcted for failing to complete the project on time. The employee was mulcted for embezzlement of company funds. The driver was mulcted for speeding and reckless driving.
Mitigate as verb. To make something less severe, intense, or harmful. To reduce the impact, severity, or intensity of something. The company took steps to mitigate the effects of the pandemic on their employees by allowing remote work. She tried to mitigate the damage to her reputation by issuing a public apology. The doctor prescribed medication to mitigate the patient's pain. The government implemented measures to mitigate the environmental impact of the construction project. The school implemented policies to mitigate bullying and harassment among students. Glut as verb. To fill to excess. To supply an excessive amount of something. The real estate market is glutted with new developments, making it difficult for sellers to find buyers. The company glutted the market with their new product, flooding the market with inventory. The market was glutted with too many similar products, making it difficult for any one brand to stand out. The internet is being glutted with more and more content every day. The manufacturer tried to glut the market with their product, hoping to corner the market and drive out competitors. Ready to boost your English? Meet our vocabulary app, the fun and effective way to master the language. Books learn advanced words with examples and audio. Direct hit master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Video game enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Glow showing Europe, Africa translate into 100+ languages, all in one app. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.